New gameplay footage was released a few days ago and I know you probably watched it multiple times. However, were you able to spot all those 20 incredible details I am about to show you? Come with me and let's find out. Earlier this week, only 2 days before Night City Wire 5 went out, CDPR did a surprise stream that showcased the graphics of Cyberpunk 2077 running on the Microsoft consoles. The best part of that is that they brought us roughly 9 minutes of almost unedited new gameplay footage. The gameplay covered some parts of the quest named Automatic Love, where apparently we're trying to find Evelyin Parker, which went missing. On this quest, we were able to drive around Watson, enter the megabuilding 8 and fight our way out of it. Then walk around the exotic jig-jig street and talk with the strange Ripperdoc Fingers. Alright, now that I got the basic covered, let's check out the 20 things you might have missed when watching this gameplay. On number 1, we have street names. Miles Todd already said in an interview that all streets have names in Night City. On this gameplay footage, we can spot a couple of signs like the corner of Forbes with Cannock, Stutter Street right outside Lizzie's bar, Duzois, Watson Bridge, and Poplar Street. And by the way, we already saw Poplar Street on the InStyle trailer. On number 2, we have dozens of HUD icons, so let me highlight all the ones I could find and what I think they mark. On Cannock Street, we have this marking that for me looks like a jacket, so it could be the location of a clothing store. When going out from Lizzie's bar, we can see a conversation icon in one of the NPCs. On Witcher 3, we could interact with almost all NPCs, however their dialogues were severely limited. Based on the recent feedback from people who just played the game 16 hours, they say that you can talk to pretty much every single NPC and the conversations are much more immersive. Here on the map, we see a flashing start icon that I believe could be an NCPD encounter. Maybe they're finding someone and you could just jump in and help one of the sides. Here and in many other places, you can spot a sushi icon that probably indicates any type of food vendor, not only the Japanese ones. But maybe I'm wrong, as we are in Watson, there are probably dozens of Oriental restaurants indeed. Here on the table, we can see this icon on the booze. We also can see the same icon on the staircase and on this other table, so this is clearly indicating lootable items. The same icon also shows next to the bodies of people we kill, however here they are shown in green. My theory is that it is the rarity of the loot inside the box, which could be very helpful when looting. While driving, we can spot a box-shaped icon that is similar to the loot one, so I wonder if this could be a general store or something like that. On this bar, we can see an icon that looks like a chip or something, but it's sitting on what appears to be a menu. So my bet is that this is a way to interact with the bar, check prices, or even buy drinks. Here we also have a magnifying glass icon that probably means something we can read, like a magazine or something. Whenever in combat, there are plenty of HUD icons as well. You can see the type of enemies we are fighting. Melee enemies will have a fist over their heads, while ranged will have an icon showing 3 assault rifle bullets. When engaged, the enemies will show a red exclamation mark, and there's also a blue skull icon that could indicate an enemy using boosters or maybe even performing a hacking attempt on you. There are also icons for live grenades, which could help you to complete the achievement where you have to shoot one mid-air with a revolver. Moving on from combat, we have the Ripperdoc icon, the shaking hands that I believe indicate side quests, and this interesting partially opened mouth that you can spot in any of these sex workers. Again, from people who already play the game, the way this works, you just interact with the sex worker, you agree upon a price, and then suddenly a cutscene of sex appears in front of you. The scenes though are in first person and they are not very explicit. Alright, let's move on to number 3. This one is just a small detail, but it adds to the immersion for sure. While leaving the Lizzie's bar, we see an exit sign that is written both in English and in Chinese. Considering the Lizzie's bar is in the sub-district of Kabuki, a place known for their Chinese and Japanese influence, that is certainly a nice touch for the game. In number 4, we have defensive driving behavior from the NPCs. Note how all the vehicles will open space for V, which is driving much faster to pass. This not only gives us a feel of responsiveness of the world, but also improves the driving experience a lot. You probably won't ever get stuck in traffic in Cyberpunk 2077. Number 5, we got a King Tao weapon ad. This ain't much of a big deal, but it is the first time I ever saw an ad for that company. I was almost thinking that they do all their propaganda on social media. On number 6, there are random encounters on the street. I imagine they work in the same way they did on the Witcher 3 game, where random people would ask you to save them from trouble, and hell, maybe even to recover a goddamn frying pan from them. In this footage, we see what looks like to be an NCPD officer saying, "Don't even wanna find you," while the other NPC is ducking on the ground. On number 7, we got what looks like a disarming and stunning mechanics during this combat scene. For that one, I got to thank my friend Jax from Discord who pointed this out. If you notice, the first shot disarms the opponent, while the second one staggers him. The question is, do you think this is something related to a lucky shot, a skill set that you level up, ammo type, or something entirely different? Leave in the comments what you think that is. Either way, let's move on to number 8. We have a much better navigation system, especially indoors, than what it used to be on Witcher 3. Note how the navigation point marks exactly the next door you need to open and not the final destination. Also, the dotted line readjusts on the fly based on the shortest route, even for complex indoor scenarios like this one. On number 9, we have classic stealth mechanics, like we saw on Metal Gear Solid 1. Here you can see the exact field of view of every NPCs around you. Also, there is a red icon that starts filling up, indicating how long until the enemy sees you. For number 10, we got the grenade throwing mechanics. In this fight, V and the enemy trade grenades at each other, and apparently the enemy is using an EMP grenade, which didn't have any apparent effect on V at that moment, while our grenade was a shrapnel one, killing one enemy and injuring the other one. Also, note how there is no arc showing the grenade path before you throw it, which makes this especially difficult to use, but maybe we can unlock this feature with better implants or maybe even skills? I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. On number 11, we got the achievement for killing someone who threw a grenade at us. The whole achievement list was already leaked a few days ago, and I have a whole video on them, so make sure to check that out if you haven't already. On number 12, still for the same fight sequence, we have the enemy hiding behind cover. CDPR already said that the enemy's AI will be significantly smart and responsive to the environment, and this is just a small example of that. Based on recent feedback from people who play the game, the AI is indeed quite smart. For number 13, still on that same sequence, we got some absurdly oversized dildos. I swear to god, if I can't use those things as a melee weapons, especially that spiked one, I will be so disappointed. Jokes aside, again from people who just play the game, they say that there are dildos everywhere, especially on Gang's hideout. I don't know what's the deal, but people in 2077 just love their dildos. Number 14, we got weapons and their names. We got this katana named Black Unicorn, this pistol named New, the assault rifle named AIM-2518 Ajax, and a good old tech shotgun, DB2 Satra. By the way, I have a video covering all the guns ever shown until Night City Wire episode 4. It is a comprehensive breakdown of all types and classes we saw so far, and it's worth checking out for sure. On number 15 is the detail that we are fighting Tiger Claws on our way out of the cloud. A few moments before, when entering the mega building, Johnny Silverhand says that
Braindance chick is hiding something. No coincidence we already saw 2 Tiger Claws. They must control the building.
You think Judy's lying? Why?
Little something called intuition, V.
maybe this is sort of a trap where she held some information for her own benefit. The Moxes and the Tigers are long enemies, and I also have a video explaining their background on my playlist of the lore behind the games of Cyberpunk 2077. Think I am giving you a long list of homework today, ain't I? Number 16, an immersive world just like Witcher 3 was. During Geralt journeys, it wasn't rare to see random people chatting about stuff like how the weather was or how someone died, for example. In Cyberpunk 2077 is no different. Here, as we walk through Jig-Jig Street, we see people amazed by the exotic dancer skills. A few more steps ahead and we can see a woman cursing some guy. They both wear new militaristic style, suggesting they might be corporals. And this guy by far is my favorite part of this whole gameplay sequence. When we leave the elevator on building number 8, we hear this.
So hold on. You take a blow-up doll, remodel the hole, and that's cheating. That's infidelity.
Yes, this is just pure gold. Alright, let's move on. On number 17, we got the neon site for Fingers MD. Depending on where you live, you might not know this, but in USA and many other countries, MD stands for medical doctor. Specifically, the MD denotes a professional graduate degree and not necessarily a doctorate degree. Also, while we're at it, the Ripperdoc Fingers is the same skinny guy that we saw quote-unquote fixing some girl's face on the postcards from Night City trailer. On number 18, we got to murder the same guy we were dancing with in the Styles trailer. What a turnout of events. Also, that girl with the pink jumpsuit is the same one that we just passed by when walking down the jig-jig street. For number 19, we get a small detail on the holographic projections from those mysterious guys. We saw them a few times already, most of them being murdered by us, but we still don't know for sure who they are. Some strong rumors say that they are the Bozos gang of 2077, but I am not entirely sold on that, especially now that I rewatched old footage. There are a whole bunch of body part around them, and it's written on the wall, "Keep the donors sedated." The word donors is used by the scavengers to refer to their people they kidnap to kill and harvest their implants. Either way, it is nice to see how the tech work. The mask is projected by glasses. Pretty cool, huh? And finally, number 20. This one almost passed unnoticed by me, but in the final scene of the footage, we get to see a half-naked dead girl laying on the floor during that brain dance recording. Which, by the way, I believe it's sort of an inception. This is a brain dance that's about to go down inside a brain dance. Alright, that'll be all for this video. Leave on the comments what type of content you would like to see next. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I see you next time.